Egghead Part 2 is crazy, and I want to comment about Luffy vs Kizaru, mainly the storytelling around it. Also, try to spot all the Kumas throughout the video. Kizaru finished laying Sentomaru down in the dirt, and Luffy's with Frankie and Lilith trying to move the Sunny to the other side of Egghead. Let me just say this, I already knew that Luffy left the ship when Frankie mentioned Kizaru, but I was caught off guard by Luffy's on-site mentality. He didn't even let the man finish greeting him. And that's where we get this amazing exchange between them, where Luffy says we're 100 times stronger than we were 2 years ago. And I think that this moment captures the relationship between Luffy and Kizaru beautifully. Kizaru's partially to blame for the time skip following the Sabori incident. He's the goalpost that the Straw Hats could not overcome. So apart from Ace dying, Kizaru represents one of the biggest failures in Luffy's life, and in his capabilities. His life as a captain, and his ability to protect his friends. And now, he gets a chance to rectify that. I mean, look at this look on Luffy's face. He's excited to be fighting Kizaru again. It's almost Saiyan-ish, right? Like, I can't be the only one who thought that when I saw this. But anyway, the fight continues and Luffy's in Gear 4 Snake Man. He's trying to figure out why Kizaru is hunting Vegapunk, and we see that Kizaru doesn't really want to. Obviously, there's some amicable history between the two, but he's just concerned with carrying out his orders from the world government. Even though you get the sense that he's becoming more put off by their brand of justice, quote unquote, kind of like Fujitora. He's not on the same level, but you feel the same vibe to a different degree. The fight goes on, and Luffy is getting exhausted. He's throwing Snake Man punches, Gum Gum Black Mamba, but nothing's working. Kizaru just kicks him through Vega Force 1. As you watch this fight, Luffy's losing, Lilith got kicked away, and Kizaru goes into the lab where the rest of the crew is. You feel Oda setting up this feeling that what happened 2 years ago is happening again. It's a callback, right? The Straw Hats can't escape this island, and Kizaru might kill them. Luffy is powerless to help his friends again. But we as the audience know that is not the case. Luffy has one more trick up his sleeve. And just as all hope seems lost, the drums of liberation start playing. And the situation immediately turns from dire to comical. Now, this is crazy. This is the first time that Kizaru is seeing Gear 5, and the man starts sweating. When have you ever seen Kizaru sweat? Look at this. Luffy's holding him like Andy holding Buzz Lightyear or Woody or something. Anyway, they're fighting, and in different moments, Kizaru mentions he's trying to kill Vegapunk because it's his mission. And Luffy keeps dismissing it because he doesn't care. He thinks it's wrong. This is where you get into the deeper story aspect of this fight. It's something that's been popping up even more since Luffy unlocked the Nika transformation in Wano. Watching this fight in Clash of Positions, it begs the question that I think all of us need to ask ourselves, and that's, what are you loyal to? Because what you are loyal to will determine who you are in this world. Kizaru's loyalties I'm still trying to figure out, but obviously his duty to the world government is a high priority. So much so that he's willing to kill an old friend because they threaten the establishment. Luffy is loyal to his freedom and dream, which is why Gear 5 is so perfect for him. The Nika transformation is the most ridiculous power because it gives Luffy the freedom to do what he wants, but it also ties into freeing people who have no freedom. That's why you've seen people who were slaves of the Celestial Dragons, or affected by them, Kuma, Bonnie, and so on, tell stories about Nika. And when you juxtapose Luffy next to people like Kizaru or Rob Lucci, you get this idea that they don't really know who or what they're loyal to. It's my working assumption that they only know the general details about Ohara, God Valley, and they don't know the nitty-gritty details about why those places were destroyed. Don't get me wrong, they know more than your average person, but they don't know exactly what Dr. Clover found out about the history of the world that initiated the Buster Call. So, in one sense or the other, people who are loyal to the Five Elders are either slaves to the illusion of safety and freedom that they created, or just blindly loyal to them even though they don't know all of the details. You're safe as long as you don't expose the truth. And that's why I think people in One Piece and people in the real world love Luffy. You know what he's about, and he doesn't hide anything. I want to be king of the pirates, and I want to be free. And to add on to that point about him not hiding anything, it's random, but I think it's funny. He almost told Saint Saturn about the situation on Egghead just because he asked him. It took Robin taking the phone and hanging up to stop him. Even while I was watching it, a part of me was like, what are you doing, man? Don't give him any information so he can form a plan against you. But getting back to the fight, we get this cool sequence of Luffy and Kizaru fighting in this Looney Tunes style cloud. I had to watch this scene a few times to see what was going on, and that's one of my biggest gripes about the Gear 5 fights. They're cool, but you have to fight for your life to tell what in the world is happening. I can understand it's supposed to be the most ridiculous power in the world, but I still want to see what's happening, you know? Like, come on. Anyway, it was cool to see Luffy bust out a few of the Dawn moves. Now, the whole time that they were fighting, Saint Saturn, one of the five elders, teleports himself to Egghead, and the fight between Luffy and Kizaru wraps up with Luffy knocking Kizaru upside the head with the Gum Gum Star Gun. Imagine getting knocked out in front of your boss after being sent on a mission to off someone. That's crazy. But yeah, anyways, that's all I wanted to say about that. Egghead heats up more with Luffy vs Kizaru, and I like it. You could really sense the One Piece story coming together and sort of wrapping up. If you made it this far, let me know what you think about Egghead in the comments. Also, how many Kumas did you find? Let me know below, and I hope to see you in the next one. Peace.